Good evening and welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, May 26th, 2015. I'm Laughrin Fraser with the details. Last Sunday, May 24th, 2015, hundreds of young people from across the country attended the ruling Unity Labour Party's National Youth Convention at the Thomas Saunders Secondary School. The convention saw the new Executive Committee of the Youth Arm being elected unopposed. Jamisha Wright was there and has the details of the morning session of the convention in this report.
What got started as a jubilant celebration at the Sign Hill intersection ended at the Thomas Saunders Secondary School in what the leader of the Unity Labour Party, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, has described as the biggest political youth gathering ever in the history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Never will Labour let down the children and the young people of this country. Never. And the young people appreciate that. That's why we have in excess of 12, 13, 1,400 gathered here at the largest youth convention held by any organization in the history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The convention, which was held under the theme Empowering Our Youth, Securing Tomorrow 4 in a row, heard passionate addresses from all 15 constituency youth arm representatives on how the ULP government has impacted their lives and why the government should be returned to office for a fourth consecutive term.
Remember, we are going to vote for 4 more for the continuance of education and employment.
Offering land at knockoff prices to residents of North Windward. Implementation of the Life Skills program, which catered to the disabled and physically challenged. Need I go on? What a government!
I want us as youths to bear in mind that the quality of our lives is dependent on the quality of our leaders. Comrades, let us not get tired. Let us not fail to victim of the spirit of gloom and doom. The light of Labour keeps shining. The youths continue to soar and our country continues to benefit from a government of love. Comrades, that's why we are certain that in the South Windward constituency we cannot lose when it's cost us to choose 4 in a row. Onward to victory, Labour power.
Delivering the feature address was area representative for the South Central Windward constituency and Minister of Agriculture Subota Caesar, who says the ULP continues to demonstrate in many ways its belief and trust in the youths of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
There is not a single young person under the age of 35 on the NDP slate of candidates. Not a single one. What this is saying is that they do not have trust and confidence in the young people. Not only they do not have a young person, but they do not have a single woman on their slate of candidates. This should mean a lot to the young women who are here with us this afternoon.
Caesar says the massive turnout by the youths at the convention is not by chance and explains that one of the reasons is due to the fact that for the period 2001 through 2015, almost 4,000 young persons have been employed and trained under the Youth Empowerment Program.
It is for these reasons and others why the young people from Fancy to Union Island are saying Labour. Indeed, it is an excellent time to be young. We are hearing the song that the whole place is going to be shelled down when we touch down. But a lot of work has to be done by you and by me before we make the victorious touchdown on election day. And that is why I love what is being said by East St. George, that we want all hands on deck. We want all the seats. The harvest is certainly plenteous and the young Labourites are ready for the fight.
Reporting for SVGTV News, I am Jamisha Wright.
In related news, leader of the ULP, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, says his party does not view the young people of SVG as a problem to be solved, but the youths are instead the heart of the solution for the difficulties confronting SVG.
drop the balance sheet, the young people are not a deficit, they are an asset. When you drop the balance sheet, the young people are not about weaknesses, it is about strength. The young people are not about limitations, they are about possibilities. And unless a leadership puts trust and faith in the young people, they cannot put trust and faith in the nation of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So the young people, the youths of this country, have to be seen as assets, stuffed with strengths and possibilities, and at the heart of the solution of the problems and the difficulties which may exist in this country. The NDP, on the other hand, see young people as problems to solve.
Dr. Gonsalves adds that his party will continue to pave a way forward for the young people of this country to soar and excel.
NDP would want to lock up the spirit of young people. Labour wanted to soar like eagle and fly. Because what is happening is this. What they don't grasp is that the very young people who are enjoying themselves are also praising their God. They are also the ones who are going in unprecedented numbers to the community college and to university and becoming professionals. The young people whom the NDP decry, I am telling you that when I was your age, when I was 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, what you all know now, what you all have knowledge of, what you understand, the way in which you get information, I was not able to have 1/10 of that.
Failure to properly assess and determine the potential risk amongst the nation's youth will only result in a breakdown of families and communities in the country. That's according to Minister of National Mobilization Frederick Stevenson, who delivered the keynote address at the beginning of a 4-day training workshop for risk assessment and mental health screening in juvenile justice programs. Stevenson says that the government, particularly his ministry, is pleased to be piloting the training workshop, of which this country will be able to share its experiences and knowledge on the subject matter with other countries in the region.
Risk assessment is the determination of quantitative and qualitative value of risk related to a concrete situation and a recognized threat. Therefore, if we fail to determine the value of risk in any potential situation amongst our youth, how much more danger are we placing on our youth, our families, child justice providers, and the wider society in. This United States Agency for International Development funded and OECS coordinating project that is superbly implemented by the ministry, that is responsibility for social development of the people and child justice and protection matters, have become the nucleus of creative yet sustainable change in the lives of our people.
Stevenson says that juvenile justice program has been very effective in this country, noting that since its implementation, numerous milestones have been achieved, which include the passing of a Domestic Violence Act, the proclamation of Child Care and Adoption Act, and also the development and implementation of a truant students rehabilitation program targeting students on suspension with behavior and conduct disorders.
We have been able to achieve the following major milestones, and I named them. The review and drafting of our child justice legislation, connecting with families on youth deviance issues in 28 communities, development of a court diversion strategy, policy program and a master training component, reform of the social developmental agenda in areas of social protection, child development, gender equality and development, youth development, social inclusion, family and community development to complement the reform of the child justice sector. the establishment of a diversion unit to deal with child justice matters, training of our service providers in multidisciplines to complement the child justice reform approach, program for both boys and girls with lower risk levels, the development of tested programs to act as alternative options for youth in conflict, such as sports anti-crime campaign, bridging the communication gaps among youth and their families through family sporting teams, trial by pairs techniques to the teen court program.
The Gender and Youth Affairs Minister further told the gathering that he has been troubled by the recent trend of Vincentian youths consuming deadly substances. He says the matter should be taken very seriously by all stakeholders, that not enough is being done to achieve the desired outreach to the nation's youth. Stevenson says despite the fact that this country has achieved significant milestones, in his opinion, more work needs to be done to cater to the mental and emotional needs of the youth. He further urged all stakeholders to pay special attention to the children, not just the ones who have been on the other side of the law.
I am a little saddened sometimes of a seemingly worrying trend that has now begun to show its ugly heads in some of our schools. It is sad because children who died at 13 and 14 years, 2 young children consuming the deadly poison Ramoxone. It is my hope that this 4-day workshop would seek to address some of those issues.
What was supposed to be a night of karaoke and fun at the Tunnel Bar in Byra turned out to be a fatal one when a 23-year-old Ranique Wadu Phillips of Chester Cottage was stabbed just outside the event and later died at the Georgetown Hospital in the wee hours of Saturday morning, May 23rd. The death of Phillips left his family members heartbroken. When the SVG-TV News team visited his home at Chester Cottage earlier today, villagers had already put up rest in peace signs for the young man they described as a jovial person. His brother Kerry Phillips and great-aunt Helen Moore say they are trying to console other family members, but the thought of his death still brings grief. They admitted that the fatal incident stemmed from an ongoing feud between Ranique and other young men in the village who were once friends. They say though they tried to quell the feud, arguments somehow still erupted.
I feel really sad because Ranique was very, very close to me. I did love him a lot. I can't express my feelings toward this thing because maybe we begin from. I mean, all of our villagers and all of them used to be friends, work together, eat out of one pot. And I don't really know.
I was not there.
So your brother went to hang out?
Yeah. I didn't meet him in Byra because he was alone. Doing what they have to do him.
So you know how many stab wounds he got?
No.
So how is your family coping? How are you coping?
I just holding the faith. Death. And God ready for life.
Businessman Suridam Slim Francis says that he's also saddened by the incident which happened in the road just outside his establishment. He called for more unity among the villagers and for persons to try to make peace with one another.
Yeah, he went down by the tunnel.
And collapsed?
No, he didn't. He actually fell down, but he didn't collapse. He didn't like pass out, right? Because they take him up and they take him to he got a ride go to the hospital. Well, he talked all the way up to the hospital, right? Even when he was on the hospital bed, he talked, right? So, as I know, karaoke actually bring people together and not distance them apart. Because you're sharing your own talent. You're actually using somebody else's word and you put them together as well as you could use your own personal words. It doesn't matter because it's just on karaoke. You just come and you just have clean fun. That's what I've been doing.
So you're asking for unity in the village and so?
Yeah, a whole lot of it, because I mean them guys could do better. They could do plenty better than that, because they do have to keep fussing and fighting against each other, because it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it at all.
Phillips is recorded as the 6th homicide for the year. And in Langley Park, Georgetown, the family of Anto Clark is questioning who could have killed the 23-year-old and why. Clark reportedly went out that fateful night to meet up with his girlfriend and was returning home around 12:44 a.m. when he was shot and killed on a dirt track by a single gunshot which echoed in the small community. The laborer, a father of a 1.5-year-old girl, has been described as an easygoing person. When SVG-TV went to the location where Phillips was shot, family and friends were gathered at the site. Mother Irma Clark expressed her grief and how she learned of her son's death.
Mommy don't care me home, my child, and he died from home and tell me that he going over. And when I lie down, she wake up and I take she up and I give she a feed a cup of tea and she lie back when she go back to sleep. And after she go back to sleep, me lie down and me drop sleep. And then she wake up again and I give she a feed a cup of tea and she wake up and when I did hey brother, and me say I hear it and then me go back, go lay down. After me go back, go lay down. When I lay down, I get a phone call and say that, oh, mommy, I don't know how to tell you this, you know. Kiran gets shut over there, so me go down to the house and me start to bawl for water and come over here.
Brothers Jerry and Delano Clark also expressed their love for their brother.
My last brother and my bona fide brother to my heart. They were different than my other set of brother when they wrong me.
So you don't know who would do something like this? He never got in any trouble? Like
well, he had his own people who you know. Somebody might envy you differently. You might not have nothing. But you don't know who might envy you for your life still, understand? So you can't see why they was taking my life just right, so understand? Because from here, your girlfriend and my uncle. You usually know nobody's more than a cousin alone. He was a camp person. He never trouble nobody. Yeah, we work for what you want. You don't like don't disrespect my way, I just feel it. Enjoy.
In a media release issued earlier today, the police say 2 persons are in custody assisting with the investigation into Clark's death. The gunshot wound was found on the right side of his abdomen. His death is recorded as the 7th homicide for the year. A fine of $5,500, was this morning imposed upon Rohan Bailey, a coordinating manager of the High Voltage Mass Band, by Chief Magistrate Rayshan Brown Matthias. This after he entered a guilty plea on a charge of possession of a quantity of marijuana at Carib Mountain on December 14, 2014. He was ordered to pay the fine by September 18th this year. In default, he faces a 2-year jail term at Her Majesty's Prison. Bailey was arrested and charged by members of the Rapid Response Unit while they were on foot patrol in the mountain. He was intercepted with 3,017 grams of cannabis. As the Spiritual Baptists celebrated over 100 years of existence on Sunday, opposition senator and member Spiritual Baptist Organization Dr. Linton Lewis urged members gathered at the Victoria Park on Sunday to remember the struggles that they faced and to let it make them even stronger as a religion. Recalling the struggles of the Spiritual Baptist movement in the country, Dr. Lewis congratulated the Shakers for maintaining their authenticity, of which they fought to legally practice over 100 years ago.
I want to say to you, it has been a very long journey, over 119 years of struggle for the spiritual Baptist religion here in this country. From the wilderness people to converted, from converted to Christian pilgrim, from Christian pilgrim to spiritual Baptist. The journey has not been an easy one. But all the efforts for over a century by the Europeans to try Baptist have not been successful at all. And then I want to say congratulations to you for your stalwart, resolute, fortified and strong resolve to be here today, glorious in your colors, white and other colors, celebrating over 100 years of spiritual Baptist and Shaker here in the
Dr. Lewis further encouraged the spiritual Baptists to stick together to accomplish even greater things for their religion and themselves.
In the 1930s, you had a procession of over 4,000 persons demonstrating in Georgetown. On the 26th of June, 1949, there were over 2,000 persons marching through the streets of Georgetown. But in 1950, you were refused permission to march through the streets of Kingston. But here you are today, after all these years, marching freely, religious liberty for the spiritual Baptists here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. What a wonderful experience. I want also to say to you that you have to stick together. Don't divide each other. They stuck together way back in the 1930s, 40s. I want us to stick together today. Because as I said, I go, if you want to know where Jesus is, say nice, take up your cross and follow.
Vincentians yesterday, Monday, May 25th, commemorated the 40th anniversary of Fisherman's Day under the theme, Put a Fish on Your Dish, 40 years of harvest, accept no less, fish is the best. In the Class 4 category, overall Fisherman of the Year, Ray Anthony Clark caught a total of 3,111.8 pounds with his boat Ray J. He received the top prize of a 75-horsepower Yamaha 2-stroke outboard engine, a trophy, 3 life jackets, among other consolation prizes. There was a total catch of 16,673 pounds for the 6 Mondays of the competition. For the actual competition day, 160 fisher folk brought in 3,257 pounds of fish from the 19 boats of the 44 that entered the event. We'll bring you a full coverage of the Fisherman's Day event in our next newscast tomorrow evening.